Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day, good moment to you, wherever and whenever you are on this sweet, wild, sacred earth. I'm Julie Ling, and from the wild sweetness of my very own heart, this is the voice of wonder. Thank you for joining me. I invite you to simply let yourself relax into this moment, this now here that will never come again. Feel yourself settling like the stardust you are made of into your body, into the singing bowl of your hips, while you let the flute open your heart and bring you in just a little more deeper, a little more deep. And I invite you just for a moment or two to practice the box breath. It's been found scientifically to create coherence between your brain and your heart. And the magnetic field of your heart is many times bigger, greater, more powerful than the magnetic field of your brain. And it makes sense to me to want to have them coherent with each other, aligned, and have that greater resonance within you. So I invite you to breathe in to the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And pause. 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Release. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Last time in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Release. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. And if you like, you can continue breathing in this pattern, or you can let the breath have its way with you, rising and falling like waves on the shore, whatever you choose. And just notice how that feels in your body, in your being. And today, it being Father's Day, as I was wondering what wanted to be spoken, I had this thought as I was settling in, and it surprised me. I loved my father very much. And for a lot of my life, for most of my life, when I was really little, it was different. But later, I felt like he didn't really get me or see me. And after he died, I realized I'm not sure I really got or saw him either, which is sad. And many, many times I've thought and practiced learning to mother myself. But it didn't occur to me until a few minutes ago that I could learn and practice fathering myself. Often for me, the words Divine Father Heavenly Father, our Father have not resonated. Why would I want a bigger, more powerful Father who didn't see me or get who I was? That just escaped me. And my dad did the best he knew how, and he was a beautiful soul, and I loved him. But it never occurred to me to even consider learning to father myself. And whether you had a difficult relationship with your father or a wonderful relationship with your father, whether you still have your father in your life, and if you do, I'm glad that you do. I miss mine, and I lost him twice. He had dementia before he died. So I was watching him disappear before my eyes and then watching him disappear again. Although once the filters of dementia were present, he was way likelier to say, I'm sorry and I love you. I said those words and I heard the lines from the Tracy Chapman song, I'm sorry is all that you can't say. I love you is all that you can't say. And it was never that he couldn't say it, wouldn't say it, it was that he couldn't for so long. And I was grateful for when he was able to, even though it also meant not being able to name the objects in front of him and getting irritated that we didn't know what the strange word he used instead meant. Aphasia can be fun. I'm going to be quiet with my words and play a little more and let you drop into what your relationship with your father was and is. And if he's gone, how is that for you? What do you miss? What would you love? And was there something you wished so badly he would have done for you, with you, that you thought he wouldn't do, and perhaps it was that he couldn't? He didn't know how, didn't have the capacity. It was something that he learned was weak or foolish or more vulnerable than a man could be. Just noticing and being present with that, with your father and your relationship with your father in the past and now. And as you notice your breathing, whether you're still breathing the box step like a dance with your breath, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, or whether the breath is rising and falling and breathing in a little more compassion and a little more space and breathing out whatever you no longer need, whatever you're ready to let go of in your thoughts, in your feelings around your father or the father, if that resonates for you, or perhaps your relationship with what in those words doesn't resonate for you, and letting go of any outer or inner criticism around that you've internalized. And whether your relationship with your father was strained, challenging, awful, beautiful, wonderful, magical, anywhere in between, I also invite you to consider the others in your life who may have fathered you, who may have taken your hand and walked with you seen you in ways that were maybe different than the way that your own father did, met you in ways that nourished you, that nurtured you, that protected you. Who else played that role of fathering? My mentor, Sark, one of my mentors, sent out an email today about furthering. How did your father further you, and who else furthered you? Bless you, Sark. Who else in your life fathered and furthered you? And can you honor them and perhaps receive their fathering and furthering in ways you weren't able to see your own, or vice versa? Just being with that. And what ways did you love being fathered? Would you love being fathered? If there was something in the fathering you received or did not, something you received that you didn't want, something you would have loved that you didn't receive, what is that? What would you love in a father? A physical one, an emotional one, a teaching one, a divine one, an energetic one, a friendly one? What would that be? And if there's something really alive that you got that you didn't want, use use it as an arrow. That's the end pointing to what you don't want. Turn and look the opposite direction. What is it you would love instead? And just notice, let it bubble up inside of you. Be still and ask for it and let it come. How would it feel? How does it feel in your body? Is it like a hand on your shoulder, a hand behind your back? I've got you. Is it eyes that look into yours and say, I see you. I love you. I've got you. What is it? The smell of a cologne? Is it the smell of cedars around you? Is it learning to fish or ride a bike? One of the things my dad with me that I loved, he taught me how to ride a bike. And I'll never forget the moment when I thought he was holding on to the bike and I realized he was behind me and I was doing it. And I felt so strong and powerful and capable. Thank you, Dad. And the other thing he did was fly kites with me. I remember sitting in his lap for what felt like hours to me, maybe it was a few minutes, watching the kite way up high and feeling so safe and held. What did your dad do, or another dad to you, another father to you, do that you loved? Feel it in your body. And if there's nothing that you can hold on to there, even small, what would you have loved? And how does that feel? Not just picturing it mentally, but feeling it in all of your body with all of your senses. What are the smells? Is there a taste in your mouth? Did you just eat fried chicken? Did you just have a hot dog together? Did you just drink a Coke or a root beer or beer? What does it feel like? How does your body feel? Is there a hand on your shoulder? How does the air feel on your face? All of it. What do you hear this person saying? And it might have been someone who had a different gender who fathered you in ways that mattered. Lean into that with all of your senses and not just before and above you, but behind and beneath you. Do you feel connected to the earth? Are you on a boat? Are you in a car? Where are you? How do you feel? Drink that in. And whatever the essence of that was or is for you now, as you feel it in your body, in your heart, in your belly, in your roots, how can you own this? How can you drink in and own for yourself this energy of being fathered the way you'd love, practicing what you'd love from you to you? And if you are blessed to still have a father of any stripe, sort, ginger, flavor, ginger, pepper, any of those, Old Spice, how will you recognize it when it's offered and given to you? And how can you open to receive it a little more? How can you learn to father yourself in moments when that outer father isn't available? How can you practice this for yourself? The hand on your shoulder, your back, I've got you. The energy that protects, the energy that provides for. How can you provide for yourself? In one small way, just one drop more today. I invite you to drop into what that feels like, looks like, practicing what you'd love. And maybe it occurred to you decades ago that you could father yourself. And if it didn't, I invite you into the juiciness of that thought. It's an invitation in an engraved card. Open it, read it. What beautiful words are written in very masculine print or flourishing calligraphy or some other way, or that you hear in your mind's ear. I invite you, as you walk through this Father's Day, to open this invitation to how can you more deeply receive the fathering that you've been and are offered, and how can you more deeply receive and open to this invitation to father yourself. How can you honor the fathering you have received? How can you honor the fathering you are offered? How can you pay your respects, offer your reverence to the energy of fathering that taps, conjures up, brings remembrance to? That's my intention for today, to remember the fathering my father was able to give to me, that I loved. I probably won't go fly a kite, but maybe I'll play the song from Mary Poppins. Maybe I'll take out one of the tools my dad gave me, and I think every tool I have, my dad gave me. Whatever comes up for you, I invite you to receive it a little more deeply today. Whatever form fathering has taken for you. And if it hasn't, what can you make up? What can you let in from anyone, everyone that would be fathering to you? And how can you offer that to yourself and receive from others and from you? I'm Julie Ling, inviting you to let your heart sing and resonate with the fathering you have received, that you would love to receive, and let it resonate more and more deeply and powerfully within you. Have a beautiful and blessed day of fathering, of receiving fathering, and if you are a father, allowing yourself to be honored and acknowledged for the fathering you have done, and granting yourself grace for the ways you wish you might have fathered differently. Now's your golden opportunity to do it a little bit differently if you choose. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful and a blessed day. And happy Father's Day.